And hello, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Random Thoughts from me, Ted Bear. Now, just because something is accepted by someone, even large groups of someone's, even those with counseling and medical degrees, it doesn't mean that that thing couldn't still be a load of horse pucky. Now, just like you can never be too thin before it, today I'm going to talk about another classic argument, the anger management battle cry, I guess you can call it. Anger is a choice. Yeah, so you don't get any delusions. No, I do not agree with this at all. Not even a little bit. Now, before I get too far into this, I wanted to start with what I think they were going for with this particular phrase. Now, personally, I have a few health issues, and it just so happens that every single one of the darn things is irritated by me losing my cool, redlining the engine, getting honked off. Now, people who argue with me about this, they talk about control. They say, don't give somebody space in your head. All of this is up to you. You are the only one that matters in this equation. No. I'm not buying this one. It takes two to tango. Unless you're just getting freaky, and that's a completely different video. Anger is a choice. You didn't choose to have a jerk-o-matic in your face pissing you off, insulting you. You didn't choose that. It's not like you went out on Craigslist and said, hey, yeah, just like that Monty Python skit, if I go down to 4A, I can get abuse. So, let me ask you this. Since none of that happened, why are you blaming me? Why are you trying to shame me for my natural reaction? That's why I have such trouble with this bit of classic wisdom. It takes every bit of the responsibility away from the instigator and dumps it on you. At most, you should only have to accept 50%. Oh, you're not going to get the instigator to accept any responsibility for their actions. But you should only have to accept the actions that you were actually responsible for. Okay? My correction to this anger management argument is actually very simple. Anger is a reaction. What you do with it is a choice. And you really don't have to choose anything, but take that moment and choose. Besides not wanting to add injury to the insult, there's another reason why I have trouble with this particular saying, and it involves the amount of force and the aftermath of becoming angry. Now, to keep from being angry, you have to push back with an equal or greater force than the pressure to be angry that's being exerted on you. You have lots of energy here and lots of energy here, And with that much energy, it takes a long time to dissipate. And the more rigid the container, the more rigid the structure. If you've even heard about Bruce Lee, you know that the more rigid the container, the easier it is to break. Now, if you accept the fact that the douchebag is there, instead of fighting that fact, which is very illogical, especially given that the turkey's right in front of you, if you can accept it, we can all go about our day. Now, let me see if I can sum this up in a bit of a piece of advice I used to give young jugglers who, I wasn't a professional juggler, I just knew how and would show people who would ask me. Now, you don't want to practice with those little 50-cent Super Balls on a hard surface. Why? Because you're going to drop them. Get used to the fact one of these balls will fall out of your hands. Will get out of your control. And these things will bounce anywhere and everywhere you don't want them to go. So, accept the fact that they're going to fall and practice next to a bed so you can spend less energy to get back to what you were doing in the first place. And you're also much less likely to send one of these things through a window, crack your face, or have yourself singing soprano. This has been Random Thoughts from me, Ted Bear, and as always, I just hope I helped.